Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My name is Mike Neal. I'm President and CEO of the Tulsa Metro Chamber. It's my privilege to welcome you today to this news conference. We are really excited to have folks joining us on this call and in this news conference from around the country. We appreciate you being with us. We'll begin our program by calling on Paul Ross, the managing member of the Tulsa Talons and a member of the board of directors of Arena Football One. Paul?
I'd like to all thank you for coming here. This is a historic event, and we're very proud as Tulsa Talons to be hosting this press conference today. We have a lot of exciting news that we want to get out, and we'd sure like our mayor, Kathy Taylor, to make an announcement on behalf of the city. We appreciate your fine work that you did for us.
Well, thank you very much. We're excited to be here, and as you know, Tulsa and Oklahoma have always been home to excellence in sports and, of course, a welcoming venue in sports, and this year has been very exciting for us in many things. A new ballpark, announcing the NCAA will be here in 2011, but the most exciting thing, as we're here to tell you, is that we have reached an agreement with our great team, the Tulsa Talons, where they will be playing in one of the best venues in the nation again next year, and that's the BOK Center. So we welcome and are glad that we have a championship team playing in a championship arena.
Thank you, Mayor Taylor. We appreciate that. We're now delighted to have Commissioner Jerry Kurz here to make a what we hope will be a special announcement. Commissioner?
Thank you all for being here. It gives me great pleasure to have the opportunity to announce the formation of a new league of arena football teams. This is a brand new league. There's been arena football before. It's been done well, but not as good as it's going to be done this time. In addition, I'm proud to announce that we've come to an arrangement with great help from the mayor, the Sports Commission, Economic Development, and more people that I could ever take the time to talk about in inviting us to be here. I always say it's easy, not always, to open your wallet and pay $1 for a ticket or help a sports team, but when a community will open their heart and take us in, and we've been here a number of times, and everybody has done that across the board, and that's just tremendous. But our home for Arena Football One, brand new league of arena football teams, is here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I also have to tell you that the teams that are going to be in the league will be announced by one of our owners, our initial group of teams being in the league, but I am impressed with how hard they all have worked. They have spent an inordinate amount of time, effort, to work out the best way to have a professional league, to continue to be a sports team like the Talons are, that are integral parts of every one of the communities, to give back to the communities. Because we just don't want to be in all our communities for 6 months with our team, with our field rolled out and our hand out. We want to be in all our communities year-round, be an integral part. And the Tulsa Talons have done a remarkable job over the years doing that, and we welcome that as a founding member of the Arena Football One League. I thank you for hosting us. A wonderful crowd out here today. We'll have some questioning period at the end, but Mike's going to introduce one of our owners, and one of the people, along with many others, spent a great deal of time putting this new venture together. Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you. We are, needless to say, excited about your announcement and certainly looking forward to the coming season. I'm a Tulsan, but I'm a native Louisianian, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce we're obviously not the only ones in this room. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to present to you the honor of the Bossier Shreveport Battle Wings and a member of the board of directors of the Arena Football One League, Mr. Dan Newman. Dan?
Are you going to budget?
I've had many occasions to visit Tulsa
I'm listening to
I guess
that
the
press
good thing
conference
about
right
it
now.
is that my wife and I, Mary Ann, have a niece who lives here as a
Mute your
pharmacist.
phone, asshole.
Ron, we have, can we mute this? Thank you. We've had many trips up here as a football team and have never been successful at beating the Talons here. The only time we've ever beat them is at our place, and I joke with Craig and Mitch and Marty and tell them the reason is because their players stay up late and gamble in our place the night before. Mayor, I can't tell you how excited we are and appreciative we are as a league for the hard work that you and your staff have done and the open arms that we feel strongly for Arena Football One to be headquartered here in Tulsa. It's a great honor for us. We love the city. The city is a great city. It sparkles. Everything about it is wonderful, and everyone around the United States knows about Tulsa. And this is just one more way that you're stepping out there, and we really say thank you from all of us at making this possible. The initial 16 teams and their respective markets in Arena Football One are Arizona, Arkansas, Bossier Shreveport, Central Valley and Fresno, California, Chicago, Iowa, Jacksonville, Kentucky, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Orlando, Spokane, Washington, Tennessee Valley and Huntsville, Alabama, Tri-Cities, Washington, Tulsa, Utah, and Salt Lake City. And additional teams will be announced by October 9th. And as you can see from reading those teams and those markets' names, there's a strong cross-section of major markets, mid-major markets in the United States. And I will say this, Arena Football has been around for 23 years. It's been good, but with this transition to Arena Football One, our promise to our fans, to our staffs, to our season ticket holders, to our sponsors, and to our television audiences is get ready, because it's going to be better than it's ever been. And it starts today with Arena Football One here in Tulsa. Thank you.
Dan, thank you very much for that great announcement. That's truly an outstanding league and a great lineup of great cities. On behalf of the Tulsa Metro Chamber and the Tulsa Sports Commission, I'm certainly honored to welcome Arena Football One and this great organization to our city, and really to be one of the first to congratulate you, Commissioner Kurz, for your leadership in making this new league become a reality. At the Chamber, we're committed to helping grow a region, and helping facilitate growth takes more than just bringing in business and corporations. It means that we've got to have a quality of life that our citizens, that young people, that families, that businesses, and that professionals enjoy. And as Mayor Taylor said, sports has been a long time, not just a national tradition, but it's certainly been a long time local tradition for our community. And we are really delighted in this new league in these cities that their citizens will have the opportunity to rally behind their teams and provide visitors in their communities with additional revenue. We think that the Arena Football League has chosen an outstanding city to call home here in Tulsa. As many of you may be aware, Tulsa just a few weeks ago was named one of the top 3 minor league sports markets in the nation. And to Tulsa's benefit, by housing the Arena Football offices, our region will see an additional $1.3 million economic impact. With the new league's headquarters here and Tulsa's new and renovated event spaces and accommodations, we hope to have an opportunity to host many more national sporting events. We're excited about a new baseball stadium that will open next spring. But at the Chamber and the Sports Commission, we'll do all we can to help grow, foster, and facilitate this outstanding relationship with the Arena Football League, and to do all that we can to support the Commissioner and these teams in making this league be a success. So once again, Commissioner Kurz and your staff and to the board of directors of your league, welcome to Tulsa. We are indeed thrilled to have you, and we're looking forward to a long, very prosperous relationship. As Mayor Taylor said, in expressing appreciation to a number of people, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize three people. And that is Mike Bunny, the Economic Development Director for the City of Tulsa, who's done a great job representing the mayor and representing our city, as well as Jim Fram, our Senior Vice President of Economic Development at the Tulsa Metro Chamber, and his staff, and Mike Dotson, the Executive Director of the Tulsa Sports Commission, and his team for the great job, the great collaboration that's been put in place between the city, the chamber, our Economic Development Department, and Tulsa's future to make this become a reality. We can certainly open up the floor now to questions from any members of the audience, to any of our presenters, and likewise, or we can break for individual one-on-one interviews after the mayor makes a couple of comments.
Thanks, Mike. Could you tell I wanted to make a comment? I just wanted to say that the fact is, if Henry Primo hadn't brought the Talons here in 2000 and supported that team since its inception and made it a championship team, we wouldn't be here today. So Mike and I say also, Henry, thank you very much.
I was just getting ready to ask, Mayor, if you were going to make a comment about Henry's pretty shirt today. Henry, I think that bright shirt is very reflective of your personality. You're a sweet person. We can open up the floor to questions, or we can break for individual interviews, whatever the media prefers.
We also have people from around the country on the speakerphone that may ask questions of Ron.
Okay, folks on the telephone, any questions for any of our speakers or presenters today?
Yeah, I have a question. This is J.D. Sumner from the Albany Herald in Albany, Georgia. What are these other teams on October 9th that you plan to announce? I mean, obviously we have the South Georgia Wildcats here that were in limbo, and then we've got a city commission waiting to make a decision on whether or not they're going to be a viable team or not. Any inclination about who those teams will be?
We have other announcements about other teams who have applied and are in the process going through the board of directors, and as our press release said, we have some structural and organizational announcements that will come in the weeks to come, and we'll announce the balance of the teams on or before October 9th.
This is Craig DeVries with Quad City Times in Davenport, Iowa.
Hey, Craig.
Will there be two different tiers of in this league? Will there still be some form of an AF2? With affiliations?
This is not AF2, this is AF1, Arena Football 1.
This is going to be one league,
it is
one
league.
division?
It's one league, and the structural makeup and the organizational details will be announced in the coming weeks.
Dean Jackson from our Sports Central.
Hey, Dean.
Jerry, I'm thrilled that you're bringing the league back and doing what you can to make it successful. As you look back at the past 23 years or 22 years, whatever the number is for the league itself, what pitfalls did the original version of arena football fall into that you're looking to avoid?
I'm looking at Bill Nero, who was one of the three partners who has been there doing it just as long, and I don't know that we have enough time that we could really talk about that, but it's an interesting question, Dean. I think all the previous efforts were well intended. Everybody did the best they could. I think what happens sometimes, you let the horse out of the barn without the saddle and it's going down the road, and you didn't do it right, and you sort of spend yourself into oblivion. Sports business has to be no different than any other business. You can't spend more than you can generate in revenue. And I think the owners in putting this new league together did a tremendous job at refining the budgets, putting together an economic model that is a blueprint, I take this from Bill, a blueprint for success as opposed to a blueprint for disaster.
Jerry, Craig DeVries again. Have you established a player salary? And in announcing the teams, they said 16, but I count 17, so I'm a little confused.
No, I think when it was read that it was Fresno, California, it's also called Central Valley. But that's what we call it in the league moniker, Central Valley, but it's Fresno. So we all may have done it at one time. No, all the structural, and Tennessee Valley also was listed as Huntsville, Alabama, in parentheses on the press release to designate it's not in Tennessee. As to the rest of the structure and organizational information, that'll be coming in the next few weeks. You guys taught me a long time ago, you can't put it all out at once, because what are you guys going to write about tomorrow and the next week and the week after that? We're going to roll the information out.
Jerry, this is Craig Handel from Fort Myers News Press. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good. Haven't talked to you in a while. Missed doing that. Wanted to check with you, Jerry. Does the Fort Myers franchise have any hope of joining into this new league?
We're an equal opportunity league. However, we have no application from them.
Okay. And does the previous ownership, do they have to pay some bills before they can get back in?
This is a brand new league. This isn't any previous league. It isn't a combination of leagues.
Okay.
It's a brand new league, and everybody that is a member now and those that are in the queue to become members all have applied.
Okay.
Jerry, did you have to have an application in hand now in order for a team to make the cut by October 9th?
No.
Jerry, Sean Horish calling from KRAS-TV in Corpus Christi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Has the Corpus Christi team been one of those that has applied, and as you see it, what is the status of their situation heading toward October 9th?
I don't, I guess I don't know much about that because I've not seen an application from them. Doesn't mean that there won't be one.
This is Robert Hodges from WALB in Albany.
Yes, sir.
In regards to the South Georgia Wildcats, we've been told that their lease situation has to be resolved before that they will be considered. Do you know anything about that?
Every team that comes to us for an application needs to have a lease. And almost every league I've ever known on any level in any sport, most members have to have a lease in order to be able to play their sport. South Georgia Wildcats were a contributing member of another league. We'd welcome an application from them here, but I'm sure if they do that, they'll have their lease situation resolved.
This is Richard over to the Arizona Republic in Phoenix, and I was going to ask, how will the players be? Will there be like a draft or a free agency, and when can the players and coaches be signed? How soon?
The first part of that has to go with my sort of broken record answer that more details will come out, structural and organizational, by October 9th. With regard to the signing of players and coaches, November 1st is the effective date for the signing of coaches and players.
Jerry, this is Elliot Almond of the San Jose Mercury News. I had a couple questions, and one is the perfunctory question: have the SaberCats applied?
You mean the San Jose SaberCats?
Yes.
We're in discussions with them.
And the other question I have is regarding a lot of talk from, I guess, original or Arena Football League officials and owners, such as Grand Rapids and Utah, talking about relaunching something in 2011, which would be separate from this enterprise. Is there any concern that if they did something like that, it could undermine you guys in a way? It just gets confusing with too much indoor football.
Not a snowball's chance in a warm room. As someone who's been here from the beginning along with Bill Nero, and Dan Newman's going to come up and address the real football issue, this is the game Jim Foster invented. This is about as real arena football as you can get. You've got people here that make up this league, that organize this league and put it together, that demonstrate exactly what arena football needs to be in our communities. But as I said, not a snowball's chance in a warm room, but I know Dan wanted the opportunity to address this one specifically.
Jerry, Joe Stacy with 1700 The Champ in Des Moines.
Hang on just a second. Listen to this, please. There have been in the press, nationally and regionally and locally, some negative comments by press as well as former Arena Football League, AFL owners. Let me make something very clear to everyone. One particular owner made a statement Friday in the Kansas City Star, I won't mention his name, that said this game would not be real arena football because of the pay difference for players. Let me just say this. The AFL did not have a season in 2008 because of a collective bargaining agreement that they agreed to that spiraled out of control, and the financial model was broken, and finally it broke the machine. It didn't work. The AFL is not in existence. It's in bankruptcy. They will not play in 2010. That precipitated the necessity to go to the drawing board and come up with a financially viable financial model that works to play arena football, to keep going one of the greatest games that's ever been built. It is, arena football, the second oldest professional football league in North America, second only to the National Football League. This is arena football. Make no mistakes about it. Our rule book for 2010 is under construction now. It is identical to the 2008 AFL and AF2 rule book. So make no mistake when you're thinking or talking about what we are visiting about here today. Arena Football 1 is arena football. Thank you.
Jerry, it's Mark McGuire from the Albany, New York Times Union. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Two questions. How big do you see this league being in terms of a total number of teams when all is said and done? And I have to ask the obligatory Albany, New York question. What is the status of the Firebirds franchise?
The first one will grow as it fits us in a smooth economic model. Other leagues in many different sports have just grown to grow, and we don't want to do that. We want to grow across the country even more, but we want to make sure that we go into markets that want us. We have great ownership groups. So it'll be a concerted effort, organized and overseen by the owners. And I'll answer your second part as I'll editorialize a little bit in the fact that we want to grow because we're here back creating a league again so that we could put people back to work. Over 3,000 jobs were lost when the AFL didn't play. We're here because of all the owners that have come together to put people back to work, and we'd like to do that all across the country. We are in serious talks with an ownership group from your market, and we hope to have them in the league and announced as well by October 9th.
Jerry Kurz, Joe Stacey was 17 under the champ in Des Moines. Spoke to TV contracts. Are you able to speak any more as it relates to TV contracts, and who'll be covering some of the games on TV?
No, I can't yet, but we look to have a game of the week in this league. But as you all know, when negotiations are going on, not just for buildings, but with sponsors and television broadcast rights, best not to do that in the press if you want to get it done.
Jerry, Dean Jackson from Art Sports Central again. If you don't mind me getting personal with your heart on this whole league, you've been around for indoor football for close to 30 years or more.
I thought you were my friend.
Say, I've had my chance. What keeps you in it? Obviously, as one of the founding fathers, that's part of it. But the task of climbing uphill is pretty daunting. What kept you in it?
The smile on kids' faces. It's been said before, not by me. I'll plagiarize it. We're fortunate to be in a profession, in a sport, that we're in the business to put smiles on kids' faces, on people's faces. And going to games is probably what keeps me going. The off-season's tougher than the season. In the season, I get to go to 2-3 games a weekend.
Jerry, this is Phil Burton from ADP Central Florida. And two questions real fast. We have a team here called the Orlando Predators. Will the Predators be back? I know there's going to be an Orlando team. Will they be called the Predators? And two, will you start playing in April of 2010?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jerry Watson, Hodgwitz from the Green Bay Press Gazette. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I have a question here. You talked about a lot of the, kind of stable teams. I know Green Bay's been one of those in AF2.
I missed the second part after you said you were a stable team.
It sounds like he's gone. If he's gone, may I jump in and ask the question?
I don't know if you may. We'll see if you can.
Okay, yes. This is Elliot Almond again at San Jose Mercury News.
Okay.
You say you're in discussions with San Jose. Can you describe some of the issues that still need to be overcome?
Nope.
Jerry, this is Tim, Pride House Sports Network, Tampa.
Let me ask a follow-up, please. Do they seem insurmountable?
Nope.